Good morning, guys, and what's going on today? Today, it's cold, it's nasty, it's snowing outside, and of course I had to drive the Mercedes in all this nasty salt and crazy weather, crazy people around too, worried about getting into an accident, of course. And that's kind of what today's episode's about. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over exactly what it cost me, what it cost my insurance company to fix my Mercedes after getting ran off the road this past Thanksgiving. I have all the paperwork that lists everything, all the prices and everything, so we're gonna kind of go over how expensive it actually was to get this car fixed from what looked to be a pretty relatively minor accident. So we're gonna jump right into that, and like I said today, you know, with all these crazy people, I figured it was a great day to kind of go over this. A little worried about ever getting into another accident for fear of the car that might get totaled out. All right, guys. So in front of me, we have Bill from the automotive place, Kalk's Extreme Collision, where I got this particular car fixed. Now I know in the Edwardsville area, a lot of people own some nicer vehicles, so I figured this was a pretty decent place to take it. And thus I have been pretty satisfied with the job that they did. I just have a couple concerns. And also, I just feel that it is staggering sometimes how much things can cost, especially on a specialized vehicle like this. Even though it's not too crazy specialized, being that they only made 1,500 of these vehicles, things like body panels that are just barely slightly different from a factory C230 Sport with an AMG package become quite a bit more expensive. So if we take a look here, I have underlined, just the front bumper cover alone was $1,560. Now, as this is a C55 AMG, it has many different little pieces on the front of that bumper, chrome trim panels. There's also some painted black pieces, 3 separate grills, 2 fog lights, turn indicators, reflectors, the whole 9 yards. It's about a 15-piece bumper. So as you see, all of the grand total, just for replacing all of the front bumper stuff, and that does include reusing a couple components that weren't completely damaged and destroyed from the accident, altogether it comes up as $3,1354, which in my mind is pretty crazy for a regular car. But this car, like I said, being specialized, I was kind of expecting this, but still, that number is a big number, you know. When you factor in that you can buy one of these cars for around $10,000 with 100,000 miles is pretty scary. So as we move on, that is not the end of the cost on this particular front bumper. As we flip to the next page, just for the front bumper to get it back to original specification, there is another $381.80 in additional charges for fog lights and the separate little grills, a couple grommets. So all in all, it was almost $3,400 for the whole bumper front assembly. Then you move on to some other charges with this particular accident. As you guys may have been able to tell in the pictures, we had a little bit of a bend in the driver's side wheel, so it particularly wasn't straight, so they had to replace the left knuckle, do an alignment on the vehicle, and that's where some of my concerns come in. With this particular vehicle being an AMG, I don't know if Mercedes had a specific way that they wished that it was aligned, and this particular shop that Kalk sent my car out to an alignment for may not have had that exact specification. So I've noticed in the past 2,500 miles of driving the vehicle, my front passenger side tire, which is actually the opposite of what took the brunt of the damage, is wearing severely. So I think the alignment may be a little off. But let's jump to the back here. Alright, so coming down to the end of this list here, as you can see, it was a total of $6,400, almost $6,500, which is rather steep, you know. Obviously there was some wheel refinishing, some suspension work that took place there, replacing all of the skid pans on the bottom, the plastic pieces. There was an exhaust shield that got replaced, and just some various little components, but the bulk of the cost, right about half of the cost, if not a little more than half of the cost, was just all that front bumper and front bumper assemblies. And pretty much everything was sourced from brand new. And that's the other thing that I had a problem with this particular vehicle. This does not go onto this particular shop. It seems as though, and it's something I expected, and I shouldn't be concerned about it. It took a while to source all of these parts. I was down that car for almost 3 months, and so yeah. But as you see, I had a $500 deductible, so that's pretty much what it cost me. That's not the extent of what it cost me, but we'll get into that. And as you see, $6,400 was the total minus $500 deductible, so it leaves me with these numbers for what the insurance company paid out, almost $6,000. So I'm interested to see what my rates are going to be going up for in the next couple months here. Now, back into this $500 not being the only thing that cost me money. The other thing that cost me money was just the fact that I was out of vehicle for that long. Now, they did give me the option of a rental car, and I'm sure I could have worked it out with them to where I could have had more time with the rental car, being that this car took so long to get fixed. But I chose to opt out of the rental car because I was so busy with the Christmas season here at the store that I quite frankly just couldn't get down to O'Fallon. And from the sound of it, it didn't sound like they had a way to even get me a car. So, Hertz, maybe try to figure that out. You know, people from Enterprise will pick you up wherever you're at. So, that kind of was a little bit of dismay to me. And then just for the fact that the S2000 is not a cheap vehicle to drive either. It takes premium gas. Parts are not the cheapest for that vehicle either. So, all in all, I'd guarantee that it cost me an extra $750 to $1,000 over that couple month period, just an extra cost associated with this. Alright, so long story short, guys, this whole situation sucks, but I am glad to have the car back, and I'm sure glad I made it to work this morning on time and in one piece. But as it goes, this here. What I'm gonna have to do about this is I am going to have to give Calks a call one time during these weeks and try to figure out who they took the car to get aligned with. Just mainly for the reason that it drives like crap right now, pulls all over the place. It's wearing the tire, it's starting to make noise on the highway because of the chop in the tire. So here soon I am going to have to replace that tire, and we all know what that costs. You can't get out of the door under 120 bucks with a tire anymore, especially with mounting and balancing. We are going to be signing off for right now. I know it was kind of a little uninteresting, but I wanted to kind of map out for people that, you know, might be looking at a mechanic special or a car that might have some body damage, and it's a really good deal. When you go and professionally get things done, especially with an AMG car, these body panels cost a lot of money. So, but for now, like I said, signing off. Thanks again, guys, for watching. If you like what you've seen here, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button to join the notification crew, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We have our Instagram and Facebook pages up and going, so we're building a small community there. And with the Facebook page, it's actually a group, so you can join the group and start posting pictures and projects and cool, quirky things that you see out on the road. Anything dangerous and weird out on the road. You know, I know there's some crazy stuff you guys are catching on your dash cams, so we'd love to see it out at the Carnosaurs. So, also, it's another place that you don't have to bother people on Facebook with all of this junk. So, like I said, signing off. Thanks, guys.